Welcome to the first edition of the Alaska Ocean Acidification Network's Ask a Scientist series. I'm your host, Darcy Dugan, and this new bi-monthly series will answer questions from real people like you with the help of ocean acidification experts from the network. Our first guest is Jessica Cross, a researcher from NOAA's Pacific Marine Environmental Lab. Jessica studies the chemistry of ocean acidification in the waters around Alaska, and the question today is, are we seeing ocean acidification in Alaska right now?
Hi, everybody. The answer to this question is actually really easy. The answer is yes. And there's three main reasons for that. The first one is that we see ocean acidification because we look. And I know that's kind of a smart alecky answer, but hear me out. I'm part of a really strong ocean acidification monitoring program sponsored by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We use all sorts of tools to monitor chemical conditions in Alaska in order to understand ocean acidification, where it's happening and why it's happening.
Great. Maybe you could tell us a little more about what kind of ocean acidification we see in Alaska.
The second main reason we see ocean acidification in Alaska is because OA is a global process. When humans emit carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it mixes up over the globe relatively quickly, so almost all the water on our planet is exposed to anthropogenic, that's just a big word meaning human-caused, carbon dioxide. Ocean water then soaks up some of that extra CO2, which creates a cascade of chemical impacts, one of which being that the reduced pH that gives ocean acidification its name. And this process is happening all over the globe, and Alaska is no exception.
So does that mean that Alaska isn't unique? Is the whole planet experiencing ocean acidification the same way?
No way. Alaska is actually a very special case. The third main reason we see ocean acidification in Alaska is because Alaskan waters are extremely vulnerable to ocean acidification relative to other waters around the world. This is because Alaskan waters have a naturally higher concentration of carbon dioxide. As a result, it only takes a very little bit of that human-caused extra carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to cause a lot of ocean acidification in Alaska very quickly.
Is ocean acidification worse in some areas of Alaska compared to others?
We think so. One of the main natural processes that causes OA vulnerability in Alaska is phytoplankton decay. And phytoplankton decay produces a lot of carbon dioxide. Normally, this wouldn't be a problem. It's a natural part of the ecosystem, and the ecosystem has adapted to it. But adding phytoplankton decay and human-derived carbon dioxide together can cause rapid and severe acidification. Now, phytoplankton decay has a time and a place. Mostly, we think that it happens during late summer, fall, and winter, and mostly near the ocean bottom. Sometimes weird circulation patterns can collect a lot of phytoplankton decay at the bottom in certain spots, so those spots are going to be extra vulnerable, especially during those times of year. We think that one of those spots is sort of the northern end of the Bering Sea midshelf, sort of between St. Lawrence and St. Matthew Islands, but we don't know where all of those hotspots are. Alaska is a really big place, and we can't be there all the time, but our tools are getting a lot better.
That's right. Don't you work with a new technology development program?
Yeah, we're starting to get a lot better at monitoring the ocean surface for OA using AUVs like the sail drone, but to monitor the ocean bottom, we still need to use ships and moorings. And those are getting a little bit more sophisticated too. It's actually a really exciting time to be a carbon scientist. And on top of that, we're really lucky to be able to work in Alaska. As this video series shows, Alaskans really do care about this stuff, and it wouldn't be possible for us to do such high quality work without working with a number of communities, tribes, and private industries like hatcheries in order to monitor ocean acidification at the local level. A good example of that project is actually on the poster right behind me. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, sort of right there. A colleague of mine actually just installed ocean acidification sensors on one of the Alaska ferries to help us collect information along the ferry route.
Jessica, thank you so much for being on Ask a Scientist today. We encourage viewers out there to submit your questions about ocean acidification so they can be answered during an upcoming episode. And in the meantime, we encourage you to check out the Alaska Ocean Acidification Network website, which has information on ocean acidification basics, monitoring projects, research findings, and upcoming events. You can also subscribe to our monthly e-news. This is Darcy Dugan, your host, and we'll see you next time.